Good morning, children. Today, in English literature, take out your English book and turn to page number 64. Page number 64. Today, we are going to start the poem The Rainbow Fairies. There are 4 verses in this poem, The Rainbow Fairies. Today, I will just recite 2 verses of the poem, the first and the second verse. I'm going to explain you the poem, and in the next literature class, I will recite verse 3 and verse 4 and explain you the lesson. So today I will just be reciting 2 verses of the poem, so listen carefully while I recite the poem. The Rainbow Fairies by L. M. Hadley. 2 little clouds, one summer's day, went flying through the sky. They went so fast, they bumped their heads and both began to cry. Old Father Sun looked out and said, "Oh, never mind, my dears. I'll send my little fairy folk to dry your falling tears." So, children, in the first verse, the poet L.M. Hadley says that there were 2 little clouds and it was one summer's day. As you know, the summer season is a hot season. So 2 clouds were flying in the sky one hot summer day. They went so fast, they were flying so fast in the sky that they bumped their heads. B-U-M-P-E-D, bumped. Bump means banged. They banged their heads and then they began to cry. They banged their heads and then they started crying. So in the second verse, Old Father Sun looked out and said. So what happened? The sun was in the sky since it was a summer's day. The sun was shining in the sky. Now the sun has been named as Father. Father Sun. And there is one more word before father, that is the word old. So the father was old and the father was the sun in the sky. Looked out and said. So the father's son looked out. They saw the 2 clouds crying and he said, "Oh, never mind, my dears." He said, "Never mind. Don't cry, even if you bumped your heads, never mind." He said, "I'll send my little fairy folk." Okay, children, he said that he is going to send little fairy folk. Folk means people. Okay, what sort of people the father son was going to send? He was going to send fairies. Okay, fairy is an imaginary girl. You must have read fairy stories, fairy poems. Okay, fairies are supposed to be very pretty little girls with wings on the backs. And they are imaginary because girls don't have wings. But in stories, you read about fairies having wings. So he said, "Never mind, I am going to send my little fairy folk, people, to dry your falling tears. You have been crying because you two have bumped your heads together and you are crying. So I will send my fairies. And why will the fairies come? To dry your falling tears. Because you are crying, I want the fairies to wipe away your tears." Now, down below you have a picture of fairies. See, children, these are the fairies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are the fairies. They are all in different colored dresses. They are the colors of the rainbow. They are wearing the dresses like the rainbow colors. So you will learn more about these fairies in the next literature class. So for today, I will only tell you for your assignment to recite the two verses of the poem, the first and the second verse, and send in your audios in my WhatsApp. So this is your English literature assignment for today. So happy recitation, children.